Hello and welcome to Canary in a Gold Mine. I am Matt, and Canary in a Gold Mine is a new thing for the 22-23 season. Primarily, I'm doing it as a blog, so that's canaryinagoldmine.uk, as you can see here. But I'll be writing regular blogs about the season, so game previews such as my preview for the Cardiff game there, and also looking back at the games as they happen. Unfortunately, new season familiar frustrations, so you can read my full match report from the Cardiff game. But I'll also be chucking in some videos here on the YouTube channel too, plus some live streams over the course of the season. And I thought I would start the YouTube channel with a look at the goal that Cardiff scored on Saturday. Yes, just to get it out of my system mainly, but also looking at the defensive shape that the Canaries took up and the way Cardiff attacked us and what it may mean for us when we look to take on Wigan on Saturday, a team that clearly is going to be putting men behind the ball and trying to frustrate us. This is where Cardiff's goal starts from. It starts from the left centre-back, Kipre, getting the ball and deciding to come forward with it. He sees all of this space in front of him and decides to carry the ball up to here. So here, circled in yellow, we've got Jakob Sorensen, Lungi, and this is Sawyers, so actually playing as number 19, but essentially playing the role of the number 10. So because Kipre has brought the ball up, he's able to play a pass. He's just past the centre circle, you see. So he then plays a nice little ball and a relatively simple little ball into feet. Now straight away you can see that Lungi's in a bit of trouble here because he's now wrong side of Sawyers. Sawyers is in a good position. He can play a pass there, can play a pass there. Maybe he can turn and play one to there, or play it through here, or play it through there. Lots of options because he's got himself into a nice little pocket of space. Because of this run coming in from Kipre, Lat pulls Sargent in to try and cover Lat, which is the right thing to do, but Lat then creates space out here for the left back, Collins, and he's done a good job in staying out wide, and the same for the left attacking player, O'Dowda. He's staying out wide, which creates space for him, where Aarons is in the middle, we should call him now, and he is looking squarely at Lat's situation, pointing that way, worried about what's happening here in this gap. What happens next, actually, is a great piece of defensive play by Lungi because he's able to snuff out the immediate danger by getting himself back goal side. And then, not only does he do that, but he pushes Sawyers out wide and he puts him under so much pressure that he actually forces Sawyers to make a poor pass. So the ball out here, yes, he can go to here or play it here for him to run onto, but the ball he clearly wants to play is in here because Max is looking straight at this. O'Dowda is pointing the way. He wants the ball down here, and we would be in trouble if he plays that pass nicely through there. Big trouble because Aaron's body shape is going completely the wrong way. He's in trouble here. Because of the pressure Lungi put on Sawyers, we end up with the ball out here, right on the sidelines here. Now the problem, and I think if you were looking at one mistake in the build-up to this goal, I think you have to point the finger at Max Aarons here because Max gets far too tight, I think you have to say. Far too tight here, and he makes it far too easy for O'Dowda to beat him. So you've got the situation here. Sargent is covering Collins, the left back. He's following here. Lungi is set up just on the outside of the penalty area. Sawyers has dropped back to give himself some space. The problem with that, again, Max makes it far too easy for O'Dowda just to knock the ball into his right side and get past him. Now, I've noted 4 areas here, so there are 4 Cardiff players here. Collins, the left back, he's essentially made a run to create some space, and whether he's going to end up offside, he's going that way. So Sargent doesn't have to worry too much about how far he is away. He can now stop and look at the danger here, which is what he's already doing. In the middle, Kenny has got himself into a good position. He's got his man in front of him. He can see the play developing in front of him, so that's good positioning. This is Waters, the Cardiff striker. You've got Hanley and Yanudis. They're right on top of him. Again, they're looking across at the play. They know where he is, so they're in a good position. The issue, of course, Lungi is already starting to look at Sawyers here. There's a big gap there. That's why I put it in red. And the problem Lungi ends up with is that he ends up essentially betwixt and between. He's not close enough to really help Sargent close down O'Dowda or to stop a pass coming through here to here. If he goes this way to try and stop him, that's a simple pass and he can pass it right in there and Sawyers is going to run through. If Lungi goes this way too quickly, well, that just opens up the path for O'Dowda to come in and try and shoot, or maybe to get to the byline. What happens? O'Dowda draws the players in. Lungi starts going that way because he feels like he has to. You can see his body position there. And as soon as he comes this way, O'Dowda just plays a simple pass across to Sawyers, who's already looking at what the options are in the middle. And that's just too big of a gap then for Lungi to be able to get back on top of Sawyers and to try and close down the shot. So despite Lungi's valiant efforts to try and get across and to cause some sort of disruption, there's still a good 5 yards or so when Sawyers is about to pull the trigger. Now, we can all look at this and say, yes, it's a bit unlucky. Krul clearly is unsighted. Good strike by Sawyers to put it right in the corner. Ordinarily, you would say, good luck to the player for striking and scoring from there, and a bit bad luck for us for the goal going in. However, as we saw last year in the Premier League, if you play well and you make good decisions, you tend to get good luck. Play badly, make bad decisions, you tend to get bad luck. So I think we made our own problems here, particularly in the way that Max got too tight on the left sideline and allowed O'Dowda to cut inside and then put us into trouble. With every goal, you can always look at it from a defensive point of view and think there was more you could have done to prevent it. And that's certainly the case here with Cardiff's goal. But you also need to look at it from the attacking point of view too, because Cardiff worked the situation really well. And that's instructive for us because that's precisely the sort of situation that Norwich really capitalised on under Daniel Farke in our previous 2 seasons in the Championship. Your man here, Kipre, as the left centre-back, you can replace him in that first Championship winning season with Ben Godfrey. Godfrey was outstanding at recognising situations like this where it was the right time to move forward. Rather than play a long pass or a safe pass, move forward and create some opportunities higher up the pitch. Second time around in the Championship, Ollie Skip would often drop backwards, get the ball off the centre-backs and then end up in this position and again drive forward if it was on. And also, to be fair, Ben Gibson tended to do this a bit, particularly second half of last season, the Championship winning season too. So maybe Ben Gibson is the one who can make this move against Wigan if he plays, or perhaps Lungi if he has to move back into centre-back for the Wigan game with Hanley being suspended. Maybe it will be Lungi who will be coming up and making that sort of run. Now, the reason that's so important is that it basically makes the defenders have to make a decision. So, time and time again, we all know Premier League, completely different kettle of fish, but time and time again we saw in the Premier League, a player of ours would have the ball in this sort of situation, and what they would do is they would just play a simple, easy pass, which is here. Play it out here. Now, the problem with that is you make the decision for the defenders. You play it here, this player's going to come out, this player's coming across, the right back's going to cover the left winger, and they're in a bit of a bind. Now, this player may beat a man and get through, but ordinarily, especially when it was Norwich, they'd get closed down here, they'd turn back on themselves, put the ball back here, maybe go to the other centre-back, then back to the goalkeeper. And everyone would moan, and understandably so, at the person who played it back to the goalie, but actually it all starts here. If you just played a safe, easy pass, you play into what the defenders want you to do, and you end up going down a blind alley, and you have to turn back. What he did here was recognise the space and carried the ball up to here. So this is where he ended up, and that was where he was able to make a pass. It's a much shorter pass and a simpler pass to make. He's got options. He can go over the top. He can go over the top here. And of course, for us, if we changed the colours of the shirts and went back a season or two, we would see Skippy or Ben Godfrey with the ball here. The person they would be playing into would be Emmy or potentially Todd Cantwell. And if the striker here is Teemu Pukki, you know exactly what he's going to do. He's going to make the run behind the centre-back, and then Emmy or Todd is going to play it through here, thread the eye of the needle, maybe even go this way, But that is the sort of goal we scored time and time again. It suits the way Pukki wants to play, playing off the shoulder, making those clever runs. It suited what Emmy did, and it suits what Todd Cantwell can do, and also Kieran Dowell when he's fit, playing those little passes, playing those passes through. Or you could turn and play it this way or play it this way. You've got options, but it all starts from this player bringing the ball forward rather than playing a safe pass or going over the top too soon. You're letting things play out. You're making the defenders have to do something and then seeing how things develop and making passes, shorter passes, higher up the pitch, which gives you more options to make different plays from there. So there we go. Hopefully Norwich will be able to tighten up on their defence at the weekend against Wigan, although, as I mentioned earlier, Wigan, as a newly promoted team up to the Championship, got a decent point at home against Preston to start the season, so they will come to Carrow Road in the same way we've seen teams come to Carrow Road previous 2 seasons in the Championship. They're going to get men behind the ball, they're going to try and frustrate us and make it difficult for us, and we can't complain about it. We've got to find a way to break them down, playing balls in between the lines, having players beating other players one-on-one and making things happen. We've got to show a lot of energy, a lot of endeavour and a lot of creativity. Didn't show much against Cardiff. Hopefully Dean Smith, Craig Shakespeare and the coaching staff are able to come up with some plans so that we can put in a much more positive performance on Saturday against Wigan.